Good morning, everyone. In the previous chapter, we have studied about the different sources and varieties of food. As you know, food is very important for the survival of all the living organisms. The type of food you choose to eat can have a direct impact on your health, which can be positive or negative. Why is that so? So let's learn that through this chapter, components of food. Under this chapter, you'll be studying the topics like why do we need to take in the food, why do we eat different varieties of food, components of nutrients in food, functions of nutrients and its sources, balanced diet, deficiency, diseases. So firstly, why do we eat food? Why we have to eat food every day? So just like a mobile phone needs to be recharged every day, so does our body. We need to eat food and drink water every day to keep our body energized to do the daily activities and stay healthy. In the first chapter we have studied there are different varieties of food. So the types of food we eat include grains, fruits, vegetables, milk. Meat is based on your choice. Our body also needs healthy oils in small amounts. So it is very much necessary to take in different varieties of food in our everyday meals. Also, the fresh and homemade food is best to eat, as the processed and packed food like the snacks and soft drinks contain a lot of preservatives, and it is not recommended since it affects our health. So which is a negative effect in case of your processed food. So it is better to avoid these kinds of preservatives. Under types of food, I told you it is very much necessary to take in different varieties of food. Why is it so? Because different food provides different types and amounts of the nutrients to our body. Also, choosing a variety of food will help to make our meals interesting so that we do not get bored with our diet. Now, what do we mean by nutrients? What kind of nutrients are present in our food? So let us learn that through the components of food. Components are different kinds of nutrients present in our food. Then what do we mean by nutrients? Nutrients are the molecular form of substance that is present in the food which can be absorbed by the cell to carry out their life process. There are more than 40 different types of nutrients, but the nutrients are generally classified into the following types, that is carbohydrate, protein, fat, vitamin, mineral, water and roughage. So under this nutrients, there are 5 different nutrients which are further classified into 2 different categories. Those are macronutrient and micronutrient. So what do we mean by macronutrient? Macronutrient are those nutrients which are required by the body in a larger amount. So the nutrients which are required by a body in a larger amount, you call it as macronutrients. So under macronutrients you have carbohydrates, proteins and fats. The second group is micronutrients. So micronutrients are those types which are required by the body in smaller amounts. So those you call it as micronutrients. So under micronutrients you have vitamins and minerals. Apart from macro and micronutrients, you do have water and roughage as nutrients. So though this roughage does not provide any nutrient to the body, this is very much essential for our body in our daily diet. So let's learn the importance of these every nutrients, why we have to consume them in our day-to-day meals. Why? So we shall learn these under the functions and sources of all the nutrients mentioned above. So the first kind of nutrient we are going to study is about carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So what is the function of this nutrient? So the major function of this nutrient is to provide energy for our body. So most of our energy we gain through the consumption of carbohydrates. Almost 60 to 80% of the energy we get from carbohydrate. Do you know which are the sources we get this carbohydrate from? The carbohydrate in our food are obtained mainly from the plant sources. So carbohydrates we obtain mainly from plant source than the animal source. For example, rice, wheat, maize, potatoes, fruits, etc. are rich in source of carbohydrate. The next type of nutrients is fat. The fats are made up of the same three elements, that is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, of which the carbohydrates are made. So the fats and carbohydrates are made up of the same kinds of elements, that is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Then what is the difference between these two where they have their separate names as carbohydrates and fats? That is because the difference lies in the fact that fats contain less proportion of oxygen. So carbohydrates have more proportion of oxygen compared to fats. So henceforth they both vary. Now, why we have to consume the food rich in fat or the food containing fats? The reason is the main function of fats in the body is to provide a steady source of energy, and for this purpose fats you consume are deposited in various fat depots within the body and under the skin. So fats, whatever you eat, are instantly not converted into energy. So the fat substance or the fat nutrient, whatever we consume through the food, are usually stored in our body and later utilized when there is less availability or no availability of energy in the body. So at that time the body utilizes the stored fat which is present already in our body or which is stored already in our body. So not only that, I said the fat is also deposited under our skin. So what is the reason for the fat to be deposited under our skin? That is because the fat present under the skin acts as a thermal insulator where they protect our body from the extreme cold temperature in the outside environment by keeping our body warm. That is, they prevent the body heat from moving into the external environment. Hence, you also call them as thermal insulators. Now, which are the sources of food that provide fat to our body? Namely, butter, milk, egg, meat, etc. Also, all the cooking oils provide us fat.